The heart of your teams. The heart of Atlanta. Bally Sports South and Bally Sports Southeast. The heart of the fan.
Left side, Swanson to first. The Braves are world champions.
Braves country, we appreciate you and love you. We love all of y'all. You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your lives.
When last we saw the Braves, it was a celebration like no other. The second Atlanta-era World Series championship, a citywide party, and the hoisting of precious hardware. And after a long, quiet winter, spring has sprung with a frenzy. Electric free agent signings and one gigantic trade. A new season and a new era is here. The 2022 season has arrived. The world champs are ready to go. New faces and postseason heroes combined, all with the same goal. Let's make it 2 in a row. It may be a new season, but what's the old saying? Time flies when you're having fun. 5 months ago today, the Battery in Atlanta was packed as we celebrated a World Series parade and a World Series championship for your Atlanta Braves. In just 48 hours, we'll kick off a new season. Hi again, everybody. With Brian Jordan, with Paul Byrd, I'm Chip Carey. Welcome to Champions Week and our 2022 season preview for the Atlanta Braves. Guys, what an unbelievable run for Atlanta, and I can't wait to get started. Here we go, boys. Let's strap it on.
I got to tell you, in the offseason, I usually have regrets. We should have bunted a guy over, should have made that play. I got none.
Right.
I am so excited, and what a team. They didn't just do it, but the stories, the people, the way they came back so well at the end of the year was unbelievable. And, BJ, there's so much energy coming off that trophy right now, I can hardly contain myself.
You know, not just the trophy, but it takes me back to the last time we were here. You know, the parade. This stage just full of fans everywhere, and the streets full of fans, and the buses riding right in front of Roxy. It was just so much fun, guys. Let's do it again.
It seems so surreal the way the Braves won the World Series last year. It's awfully real right now with the Commissioner's Trophy with us on the Plaza stage set. And it was a trophy that all of Braves country got to enjoy, fellas. This wasn't just a celebration for Atlanta, but you heard Brian Snitker a moment ago say, Braves country. They've gotten to see this trophy up close and personal just like us tonight.
I feel like the Atlanta Braves did such a good job of honoring their fan base. You see there at Cherokee High School, incredible, bring that over. Everybody wants a shot with this trophy. It's been all over the city.
I got my shot. It was my son's birthday. What a fantastic moment with me and my son. It was awesome.
It is indeed a trophy for the people. Braves country, celebrate, enjoy it. This trophy is for you too. And joining us here at the Battery is the president of your Atlanta Braves, Derek Schiller, who I don't think has stopped smiling since November the 5th, 2021. Congratulations, Derek. What does that piece of metal hardware trophy mean to you as you sit on the stage and look at the Commissioner's Trophy?
I mean, every morning you wake up and you sort of pinch yourself and you say, is it real? Did it really happen? It's unbelievable. I'm so happy we did it for Atlanta, for our fan base. And here we are a couple days away from trying to do it all over again. Let's go.
It's been too long since somebody's repeated. Who better, Birdie, than the Atlanta Braves to pull that off?
I'm thinking the party's still going on. You got Champions Week coming up. Tell me how excited you are about that.
Well, you know, it's obviously opening week is always a special time in baseball. Opening day, one of those great things in all of sports. This is no different, but you got that added extra special element where you get to celebrate the World Championships with our fans. So we're going to take these first 7 days, and every day we're doing something related to the celebration of the World Championship. You know, of course, we're going to wear special jerseys. That's one of the ways we're doing it. We've got these gold outlined jerseys, has the gold outline of our Braves logo. But we've got something every night, starting with opening day where we'll hoist the pennant, the World Championship pennant, and off we go.
You know what? You win the World Series, you got to come back to spring training, and like you said, start all over again. You know, what have you seen down in spring training that you're excited about?
Well, arguably, this is a better team than last year. I mean, when you put it on paper, if you're a fan, you got to be as excited, if not more excited. You know, the first half of last year, we didn't know, right? Everybody, if we were being really brutally honest, we were like, I'm not so sure this is our year. And then Alex made those unbelievable trades, picked up some great players. The rest, as they say, is history. When you start this year, I think you feel more confident. We do. Not only because we know we can do it, just as proven by last year, but you picked up some pieces that make this team even stronger.
Before we talk about 2022, there is unfinished business. You get to hang a championship banner. You have the trophy, quite obviously. Any hints on what the ring's going to look like? I think everybody in Braves country wants to know about that.
Well, Chip, it's interesting you asked that question. We've been talking about this a lot. I have this box right here. We've been thinking, you know, some of the ring designs have gotten out. And I'm sorry, I only have one for Chip. but I'm actually going to award your ring right here on the air. So if you could pass that to Chip, we're going to go ahead and give him his ring tonight on air, live.
Bertie,
let's get this started.
It's hard to give it over. No, this
is a very special design, and you deserve this.
Oh, I love it. It's perfect. I'm hungry.
I love it. Hey, that's sweet right there.
I'm a sucker for good jewelry, Derek.
That is perfect.
Of course, we're not going to tell you about the design quite yet. You know, the players get their rings on Saturday night. There's been a small group of us that have been behind the design. All due respect, I'm not going to let you be the guy that sees it first. But it is going to be a special ring. You know, it's got all kinds of designs that really help tell the story about that 21 team. And so we couldn't be more proud to get it out there, have our players see it. The hint that I'll give you is I was on a text chain with a bunch of the guys before the lockout, and they were like, Derek, one thing, we want it to represent Atlanta, and Atlanta's all about the bling, so we want a lot of bling on that ring, and I can assure you it does.
Well, we're all thrilled for you, Derek. Thanks for letting us be a part of the ride last year, and as you said, once was great, but let's do it again in 2022.
I'm ready. We're 2 days away. Let's get it going.
Here we go. It'll be great here at the Battery as we get started with Champions Week. That's Braves president Derek Schiller. Here's what's on slate. As Derek mentioned, it is going to be a jam-packed week of great baseball, great promotions, the World Series ring ceremony on Saturday, a documentary Sunday at 1 o'clock, fans on Monday, replica ring night. In fact, standing room only tickets for the Braves games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then the Nationals come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to wrap up the first homestand. And, of course, we're all looking forward to Wednesday as well, celebrating the world champion Georgia Bulldogs as well. Champions Week, indeed. All the coverage here on Bally Sports South and the Bally Sports app. Thanks again, Derek Schiller, for joining us. Congratulations. And we'll continue on our Braves 2022 season preview show live from the Battery in Atlanta after this quick timeout. The Braves in November delivered the second Atlanta-era World Championship after knocking off the Houston Astros in 6 games. Jorge Soler put on a power display. Hometown kid Dansby Swanson went deep as well. Ian Anderson with no-hit stuff stymied the Astros at Truist Park. In fact, no-hit innings for Ian Anderson against the Astros. And then that blast almost took down Minute Maid Park as the Braves played bombs away in Atlanta, GA, crowning Brian Snitker's 46-year Braves career as a world champion manager. A Braves team that hopes to repeat as World Series champions in 2022. Indeed, the Braves this year are ready to run it back.
My goal is to go back out there and try to win another World Series. That's why we all come out here and put in the long hours and spend all this time away from our families to hopefully be holding up the trophy at the end like we were last year.
We go out there, we win, we're going to have a target on our back, rightfully so. We're a good team. And I think that think a lot of guys in the clubhouse know that. If we go ahead and take care of business, do what we need to do, things are going to go our way most often.
You got to just start by, trying to win ball games, and that's, trying to win the division.
He got it! Against all odds, against all comers, the Braves are the champions of the National League East for the 4th straight year.
And once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're still a tight team. Like, it was like the first day of school the other day. Everybody's happy to see each other, give each other hugs, and, everybody's 0-0 right now to start the season. Nobody cares that we won. We've got a huge target on our back now, so it's just, we're going to do it the Braves way. We're going to show up, get our work in every day, and win or lose, we'll show up the next day and do the same damn thing.
I think just stay the course. If things aren't going our way like last year, we have faith in ownership and Alex and the guys in the locker room, more importantly, that, we can get it done.
To be able to know what it takes and, the daily grind, I'm ready for it and just excited to kind of get started.
Yeah, the battery's going to be packed all weekend long as we get set to celebrate the Braves World Championship here in Atlanta. Brian Jordan, Paul Bird, Chip Carey. One thing we know about baseball, and Alex Anthopoulos in particular, the man doesn't live in a vacuum. The Braves win the World Series, they celebrate for a couple of days, and then he goes right back to work to not only defend the championship, but as you heard Derek Schiller say, perhaps dramatically improve this club. Here's the timeline of what happened for the Braves last year. November 2nd, they win the World Series. Very quickly, Manny Pena comes over from the Brewers. Then the lockout takes place. We've got 99 days where nothing happens in baseball. And then March 10th, the floodgates open, and all of a sudden, changes in the air. The Braves report March 13th. You know about the Freddie Freeman situation with the Braves. They acquire Matt Olson in that blockbuster trade with the Oakland Athletics on the 14th. Sign him to a gigantic long-term contract, the biggest in team history. They also signed Colin McHugh. And then the move that surprised just about everybody, not Eddie Rosario coming back, but fortifying the Braves bullpen, which was so good in the playoffs last year. They bring in arguably the best closer of his generation, Kenley Jansen, on a one-year contract, fellas. So on paper, the Braves look just as strong, if not more so, as they look to get started here on Thursday night against the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm going to say stronger. I agree. And we don't have enough time to talk about everybody you just mentioned right there, but this outfield coming back, Soler with an incredible home run, a magical moment in that offseason. We'll never forget that. I will miss him. I love the fact that you got Eddie Rosario back. Great defense, more offense from him in the postseason last year. That was outstanding. Ozuna's coming back. Duvall you keep, and then you add Acuna later. BJ, our resident outfielder, do you like this outfield?
I love this outfield, and I love what Alex did in the offseason. We're not talking about Alex Dickerson enough to me. We are a right-hand dominant lineup. Now you add Alex Dickerson, who had 13 home runs with San Francisco last year, kind of a part-time player, but a really good outfielder too. So you strengthen that position, and Pena, to me, was a huge acquisition. Yeah. This guy works so well with young pitchers, and we saw that in spring training.
It's been over 20 years since a team has repeated as World Series champions in Major League Baseball. It's incredibly difficult to win one, much less two in a row. How will the Braves handle that even bigger target on their back when they begin play against the Reds?
Well, you know what? I love what Will Smith said. We're going to do it the Braves way. We're going to go out there and just play baseball. We lose one game, the next day we're going to bounce back, and you got to have that attitude. These guys are gunning for you after last year, but if you approach it that way, it makes life easier as a team.
And it is a new era with Matt Olson instead of Freddie Freeman at first base. Look, we love Freddie. Great contribution. He'll go down, I would think, pretty as one of the greatest Braves ever to wear the uniform. But it is a new era. We turn the page and start anew with a hometown kid at first base.
Well, let's talk about it. It hurts. We miss Freddie Freeman. We miss his leadership, an MVP caliber player. But if you cannot sign him, you've got to find someone to replace him, and there could not be a better candidate in all of baseball, in my opinion, than Matt Olson. He's young. He swings the stick. He grew up down the street, and he plays gold glove defense. This guy is butter at first base. Seeing him in spring training, incredibly impressed, and let's not forget this, a great leader and person in the locker room, another staple of the guys Alex goes out and gets.
And a guy that grew up watching Jeff Francoeur. How about that? Jeff Francoeur signed a shoe for this young man when he was a young kid. Now, all of a sudden, I talked to him in spring training. I said, hey, you got to sign a shoe for Jeff Francoeur now because you are the next great first baseman here in Atlanta for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of folks know Matt Olson because he went to Parkview High School. He's a local kid, but a lot of baseball fans didn't see much of the Oakland A's playing their games on the West Coast. Well, I don't think it's going to take Braves fans long to fall in love with Matt Olson, the new Braves first baseman. Let's meet him. It was a whirlwind 48 hours for him when he became a Brave and signed that big contract down in Northport.
Obviously, we made a trade today. You know, we traded for Matt Olson to play first base. I've been here 4 years. I'm entering my 5th. This is the hardest transaction that I've had to make. This is the most talent we've traded since I've been in Atlanta. This is the best group of players, all of the above. So those guys are all really good. They were all really tough to move. With where we are as a club right now, coming off the World Series, and I think we still feel good about a very competitive, contending club. You know, Matt's track record and what he's done, it speaks for itself. Again, he's one of the best young first basemen in the game, so, and that's why it was so expensive. So, you know, we're excited to have him.
Come on back. Did you guys play against each other growing up?
Not really. We were going to room together at college though.
No kidding.
Yeah, we left my house in Dusty.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I've been raking ever since.
Yeah, no. Good to have you, though. Appreciate it. I'll let you get.
Yeah. It still hasn't like fully set in. It's kind of surreal. First place I go is a place that's home with a great team, with a young team, good dudes, work hard, and they want to give me a long-term deal all in the span of 24, 48 hours. So I don't think it's fully set in yet, but you couldn't draw it up any better personally. For me, the at-bats are the biggest thing, to actually see some live arms, see what a 95-mile-an-hour fastball is looking like, and when you take a couple months off, you kind of lose what that's like. So really just preparation for the season.
All right, go no take care.
You know, I know that Braves fans are loyal fan base, and especially after the season that they had last year. So, you know, I'm pretty excited to get in there and feel it for myself.
This is an accomplished Major League player, BJ. Just check the back of the bubblegum card.
That's right, man. This guy, he crushed the ball in Oakland, 39 home runs, 111 RBIs. Imagine what he's going to do at a smaller ballpark like Truist Park. I can't wait.
Yeah. 142 home runs. That's unbelievable. And check out the birthday. This guy's incredibly young, Chip.
My birthday, March. Oh, I know he's going to be successful. Oh, my goodness.
And he went to Parkview High School, the alma mater of Jeff Francoeur, who sat down briefly with Matt in Northport.
What's it going to kind of be like taking the field as an Atlanta Brave the first time?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. You know, I think every opening day you got some butterflies regardless, but going out in Atlanta for the first time is gonna be cool. Snit seems like the man, very chill, laid back, but expects a lot out of his guys. You know, it's been the whole vibe here since I've gotten here, which I love. You know, have your fun doing stuff, but when it's time to work, and you know, just play the balance between those two.
Yeah, plenty of Parkview pride on that interview with Jeff Francoeur and Matt Olson. You'll see it on Friday as our Champions Week schedule continues. All of our colleagues will be with us all week. Paul Bird, Brian Jordan, Nick Green, Peter Moylan, Jeff Francoeur, Kelly Kroll as well. All of our great coverage of this opening week of a new season for the Braves is on Bally Sports South and Bally Sports Southeast. You don't want to miss it. Hope you'll join us on the air at the ballpark and here in the Battery, where we get Champions Week kicked off with our live Braves 2022 season preview show. We will have more in Atlanta as Champions Week gets started in a big way here on Bally Sports.
1 and 2. Strike 3. Not sick.
6 outs you will ever see.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. It's awesome to put this uniform on, to be honest with you. It's excited. This is where the love started for me. This is where the hope started. This is where, you know, the dream to become a major league player growing up, being a big Fred McGriff fan, and then next thing you know, Andrew Jones get to do both series, 2 homers, and really make that hope feel like it's more and more. And then the Braves signed my brother, my older brother, you know, in 1999, and, you know, me coming to Kissimmee, spring training, instructional. So this is where this love started, man. And
the Curacao thing, you had Andrew, like you said, you got Ozzie on this team.
Yeah, Ozzie now, you know, history repeats himself again. You know, Andrew Jones, we've been on assignment for a few years. Now here, me and Ozzie teammates. So, yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun to be here.
I sure hope Alex Anthopoulos has an unlimited data plan on his cell phone, because the man never seems to sleep. Of all the moves the Braves made this offseason, did that one, Kenley Jansen, catch you guys by surprise?
He got me the most. I thought he was done. And if he was done, I'm fine with that, because they had a very good, complete team, and Will Smith was fantastic last year in the postseason. But you see this pitcher right here available. He always says there's no such thing as a bad one-year deal. Look at the ERAs. Look at the saves. 350 career all the way through. Still a young man, in my opinion, at 33 years old. And I can't say enough about Will Smith being very unselfish on this move and saying, you know what, if it makes us better, go get him. And that's what happened when Alex Anthopoulos asked.
We know how good, Brian Jordan, the Braves bullpen was in postseason play last year. As you look at the addition of Kenley Jansen to that group, Brian Snitker, it would seem on paper, has every possible option to close out a ball game now.
Oh, no question about it. And I too was very surprised at this move, but it just goes to show you that Alex does not sleep, and he takes advantage of every opportunity. And you go listen to the story of this kid. Started out as a catcher. Fred McGriff, his favorite player of all time, and then he turns into a pitcher, a very dominant pitcher who grew up Atlanta Braves fan. I know that had a lot to do with it when Alex Anthopoulos went out there and got him, man. So kudos to Alex once again.
Well, with a short spring training, with 14 straight days to start the season for the Braves without a day off, a deep, successful bullpen is going to be very big for Atlanta in the opening days of this new season. And joining us to break down the new-look Braves bullpen is a man who knows a thing or two about relief. That's our own Peter Moylan. Peter?
Look, there is so much to be excited about with this Braves team this year, but one of the main things is obviously off the back of the night shift last year. I'm not sure if you realize this, but the night shift was pretty dominant throughout the playoffs last year. And you add those guys with the Kenley Jansen addition. We're talking about one of the best closers over the course of the last 10 years. I was teammates with Kenley in LA in 2013, and all he's done since then is dominate the league and basically lead the league in saves every single year. He's gone from being a one-pitch pitcher to a three-pitch pitcher. So not only has he just got one of the most dominating pitchers in the league, he's now got 2 other pitchers to go with it. You couple him with the Colin McHugh addition. Leave it to Alex Anthopoulos to go out there and find whatever's available, and he has made it work. Colin McHugh, former starter, was with the Rays last year, had an unbelievable season with a 1-point-something ERA. Throw him on the night shift, and you've got options out there that allow you to be as flexible as any bullpen in the major leagues. Now, what does that do for Snit? That allows Snit to not just go out there with the main 4 horses or 5 horses every single game. The hardest part of a manager's job is to manage the bullpen, especially when you have guys that aren't available. What this does is it creates depth. It creates flexibility. He has so many options out there that it's not just going to be, oh, Will Smith is down, Kyler Matzik's down, we're going to have to find someone else. There is so many options, 6 or 7 closing options out there.
And 2 extra roster spots for the first 3.5 weeks of the season to help teams get through that shortened spring training and the early season schedule and the cold weather and the like. But there are going to be other names to talk about. You heard Peter Moylan mention them. Got Kirby Yates coming at some point, too, and he's an all-star caliber closer, guys.
No, you got a number of closers. Kirby Yates coming back from Tommy John surgery. Will be interesting to see when he comes back. But again, the numbers just keep coming. I mean, you look down this sheet, you have 4 or 5 closers. You have a good starting rotation. Give me 5 or 6, and then hand that ball over. And if you ask those guys down there who's got the nastiest stuff, they're going to say Masick. I know because I've asked him, and he's not even the guy finishing out the game.
You know, the great thing about it, though, and I know Alex can't see the future, we lose Luke Jackson to Tommy John surgery. So now you lose one of that night train at the end of the bullpen. But you add Jansen, you add McHugh. You never have enough bullpen, and Alex knows that. That's why he's so aggressive in the offseason. Great job.
Yeah, so some new members to the night shift, but a group that was anchored by Tyler Masick, who put on a show in postseason play. 24 strikeouts, only 4 walks. He was remarkable.
The night train. My fault, the night shift.
Night train, night shift. It was night for the opposition in postseason play, whatever you want to call it. Let's enjoy Nick Reed's feature with Tyler Masick, the anchor of that night shift group in the Atlanta bullpen.
Tyler Masick, World Series champion, postseason hero. Has it hit you yet that you are a World Series champion?
I mean, yeah, it did. It hit me at the parade. That's when it was like, wow, this is amazing. We gave the city something that they really wanted.
You know, I know you guys talk about nutrition, and I'm a former infielder. I want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Is the same way with you pitchers?
Yeah, we stayed somewhat healthy. I mean, I think, you know, a little less strict, I think, for us pitchers, but
you can get away with it a little bit.
Get away with it a little bit. You know, we're not playing every day usually, but.
Thank you. Do you want anything? You good?
I'm good here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to have lunch, talk a little baseball too, if that's all good with you.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let me grab what I'm going to eat. Let's go talk.
I want to go back to the World Series run and look at the NLCS. I think everybody remembers this moment. Game 6, second and third, nobody out. You come in, punch out the side.
Yeah.
Do you remember that vividly? And do you think about that often? And what was going through your mind as it was happening?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously I remember that. That was a great moment in my life. And, yeah, I was warming up in the pen, and I saw Luke was kind of getting in trouble. And, you know, being the brotherhood that we have down there, I wanted to go in there and save him. And I got the opportunity to go in there, and my goal was to just get the first guy out. Get the first out, opens up a whole different, you know, ball game for us. We can walk a guy, we can go for a double play kind of thing. But I was able to get the first strikeout, and then I was like, man, I'm feeling pretty good, so let's go. And got ahead in the second guy, and got a second strikeout. And I'm like, all right, we'll stop. Why stop there? Let's keep going. And Travis putting down the right numbers, and we just got after it. And as I'm walking off the mound, I kind of black out, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe that happened. I mean, I'm all pumped up, and then I'm sitting there as I'm coming in the dugout. I'm going, it's only the 7th inning. I'm probably going to have to go pitch the next inning. I need to calm down a little bit and not waste all my energy. So had to calm down, and then went back out there and had a good clean 8.
And the bullpen as a whole, we talk about them. I continue to talk about them. The night shift. Talk to me about the night shift. How did that come up? I know Luke's taking credit for it. We've talked about that a ton. But it's a pretty cool just group of guys that are fighting for the same goals.
Yeah. Luke takes credit for everything, so that doesn't surprise me. Where it came from, I have no idea. We've all been talking like, hey, who came up with it? We're trying to figure it out. Plenty of guys have been asking, and we have no idea. And we're just going with, all right, I guess Luke did it, you know what I mean? But we don't want to give him credit for it. The whole group down there is, like I say, man, it's a brotherhood. We all love each other. We text each other daily, hang out with each other. We love going to dinners, love just being around each other. And when you can build that love in a bullpen like that, it kind of spreads throughout the rest of the team, and a lot of good things happen from that, including a lot of winning.
I tell you what, you've been phenomenal. I expect more greatness out of all of you guys because the expectations are high again. But we thank you for your time, and you know, it's a pleasure talking baseball.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to dive into these things now.
The one and only Tyler Masick, a big part of the Braves' 2021 World Championship. The trophy is in Atlanta. We continue from the Battery after a break.
In ways big and small, the world.
Fellas, it's great to see Ronald Acuna Jr. back and swinging the bat. Early May is his ETA, and nobody's mentioned this, BJ. Ronald Acuna Jr. played 82 games last year, and he's going to be back in a big way.
You know, one of the best players in the game, arguably. And, you know, you miss out on a World Series opportunity. So you got to bet that he is chomping at the bit. And I know going down in spring training and watching him, you almost got to slow him down. He worked so hard this offseason to be ready for the first game of the season. If you talk to him, he'll tell you he's ready. But you got to slow this kid down. I can't wait to see him get back on that field because, to me, he is one of the best players and most fun players in the game.
He's the guy that the entire fan base in the country picked to win the National League MVP, knowing that he's going to miss the first couple weeks of the season. That's unbelievable to me, and I don't know how you slow this guy down because he only knows one gear, the one way to play. He hits the bag hard running to first. I don't know how to tell him to temper it down. So, yes, let's take it slow and ease this guy in, an MVP superstar coming back.
And there's only one way Charlie Morton plays the game. That's full throttle, too. And it appears, guys, he's ahead of schedule after his injury in the World Series down in Houston. I don't know if anybody figured Charlie would be ready to go for opening day, but it appears that's the case.
He's a man's man after watching him in the playoffs and in the World Series. You know, to go through that injury and to be ahead of schedule tells me what type of guy. He has something to prove. And, you know, it was so tragic to lose him last year in that World Series, but to see him back already, it has to give this starting rotation a boost and these young guys a boost to see hard work pays off. And he'll be back, and I can't wait to see him, Paul.
And so how does a professional athlete come back from a broken leg? Well, we asked a doctor at Northside Hospital exactly how that could happen.
Or off the pitcher's leg for the out. And the Braves hope Morton's okay. Looks to be 1 out.
Altuve strikes out looking for the second time.
Charlie Morton is going to exit.
Very common ankle injury we see in athletics, and it's what we call a fibula fracture. Now, you can get fractures of the ankle, fractures of the bone for that matter, from multiple mechanisms. The most common one is more of a twisting mechanism. So the ankle is mainly comprised of 3 major bones. You have the tibia, which is the major shin bone in the leg. You have the fibula, which is a much smaller part of the shin bone. And then you have the talus, which is the kind of the cornerstone of the actual ankle. You know, whenever we see ankle fractures, whenever we see fractures of the fibula, we don't fix all of them. There are certain parameters that we use as guidelines to determine, do we fix this or do we treat it what we call non-operatively? If it's in good alignment, if it's close, if it's not displaced, then we would just treat it in either a cast or usually what I would just treat it in as a boot. Now, the ones that we have to fix, it's pretty straightforward. So the way we treat this is putting the bone back exactly the way it was before. We put it back into alignment, and then we fix it with basically a metal plate or a titanium plate and some screws. The average heal time is about 12 weeks from beginning to end. But they're typically, you know, you can have them playing football, baseball, sporting endeavors, sometimes 6 weeks. So it's typically a pretty quick recovery.
And it appears Charlie Morton's on pace to pitch Game 2 of the season against the Cincinnati Reds as the Braves celebrate the 2021 World Series Championship during Champions Week here at Truist Park. Yes, indeed. It was 5 months ago today that we celebrated that World Championship with a parade that ended here at the Battery in Atlanta. Paul Bird, Brian Jordan, Chip Carey with you. And while the players deserve the vast majority of the credit for the World Championship, let's not overlook the job Brian Snitker did last year. 46 years in the organization, and last season won like any other. All the injuries, all the adversity, the big target on the Braves' back with all those division championships. Well, Brian Snitker somehow, some way held it all together and won a World Series for the Braves last year. And earlier this week, he sat down with our own Kelly Kroll to talk about that life-changing moment.
when you woke up, you looked in the mirror over and over again, and you got to call yourself a world champion, how that process of digesting that played out for you?
Yeah, I'm still am, honestly. It was surreal for the all off season, pretty much. I mean, it's just, you know, you'd see things, and like I say, you'd see the world champion Atlanta Braves. People stopping, taking pictures, wanting your autograph. You know, and I told most of them, or everybody, I said, I waited 45 years for this. I'll take every picture, sign every autograph. I love it. And, but it's just kind of a surreal, like I said, I was always the guy sitting in the chair in my living room watching somebody else hoist a trophy. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that it'd be me up there.
What is the moment or the memory that maybe you find yourself reliving the most or talking about the most?
The last out.
Yeah.
I never let myself get too far ahead in that game, because even when we're, you know, when kind of, you know, you go through heartbreaks in this game, and you see leads like that disappear. So we had 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Then I was thinking, you know, just as rewatching it right there, thinking, okay, now this might happen.
Did it feel different showing up to spring this year?
Yeah.
I mean, is there like a sort of a moxie to this group, a swagger, you know, in a way?
No, I don't. These guys are they're such baseball rats. I think they love playing the game. They like working. They enjoy all that. And, you know, I know there's probably an inner confidence that they've accomplished that and know how to do it. I've watched them. I watch how they work. I watch how they go about it, and then nothing's changed. I mean, they're preparing, because when the umpire says play ball on a given night, every night, these guys get after it, and that's what they're there to do, is play ball.
What are you most looking forward to as this?
Well, just the season, the game, see where we stack up. Our division's gotten really good. I mean, there's a lot of teams that, you know, I look, and these general managers are aggressive. Boy, they're getting after it, and they have resources to do that. And, you know, I know everybody's, you know, they're going to be coming for you. But we've worked really hard to put ourselves in this position. We've worked, and I tell guys, we've worked really hard since I've been here to get to the point where there aren't a lot of holes to fill. And Alex does a great job of filling those holes and going out and trying to, you know, all he does is just try and make this team better all the time. And he does a great job at that. And it's hard to win a Major League Baseball game. Easy to lose one, but it's really hard to win one. And, you know, I just think you have to compartmentalize this thing into separate days, because you can't, yesterday's gone and tomorrow's a long way away. The only thing you can control is today.
So forevermore, Brian Snitker's resume will hoist a World Series championship, Paul Bird. When he took over as the Braves manager, he described the Braves team as a lot of square pegs and round holes. That's not the case now. My question to you is, what is it about Brian Snitker that makes it work so well in that room?
So I played for Brian Snitker, and I could list a ton of things. I'm just going to tell you two. Number one, he cares about his players, and you can't fake that. You can for a day or two, but you can't fake that over months. And so players know how much he cares about him. You find that out when somebody struggles, they have adversity. And then number two, he knows how to deal with people. He knows how to push the button from a guy who's from Venezuela, from a guy who's from Tennessee, from a guy who's from Canada, and different personalities. He is able to put all of those guys together and bring the best out of them. Knows when to get on them, knows when to hit the brakes, step on the gas, knows when to encourage, all of it.
You know, he's a great communicator, and that's something that Bobby Cox really did well. And players respected that, and they love to play for managers that allow you your space to go out there, work hard. And if you work hard, he will never bother you. And that's the same attitude Brian Snitker has. Guys on this team work hard for Brian Snitker. And you cannot take that away from what Brian Snitker is all about, man. His leadership, by leading by example, is so important as a manager, and that's what the players get.
Two managers in Atlanta Braves history have won World Series championships, Bobby Cox and Brian Snitker. Those two men should be spoken of in the same sentence, in my humble opinion. Braves won the World Series last year. Dansby Swanson, an Atlanta native, had a big role in that. Caught the final ground ball, the throw to Freddie Freeman to end the World Series. He also hit a long home run in that World Series against the Astros as well. So a big moment for Dansby Swanson and the Atlanta Braves down in Houston, Texas. So a lot of good things to look forward to as we get started for opening day here against the Cincinnati Reds, fellas.
Here's one into right. Back at the wall. The game is tied. Home run. Swanson. 2-2 in the
Siombis and company was the engine that made the Braves run. This dynamic infield, all four of whom hit 25 or more home runs, all of whom should have gotten Gold Glove consideration last year. A joy to watch. All of them, they're all young. They're all in the primes of their career. And now adding Matt Olson, who's a Gold Glover and a 40-homer, 100 RBI man, this Braves infield could be even more electric, more fun to watch as the Braves hope to celebrate back-to-back World Series championships here in 22. Guys, these are eye-popping numbers for the Braves, who have to realistically look as their window of opportunity is still very much wide open for this franchise.
Strictly talking offense, Dansby Swanson with 27 home runs can bat 8 in this lineup. That's insane. If I see that lineup and I'm pitching against a team like that, I want to look where I can go and get outs. And you tell me that the 8th guy has 27 home runs. I'm not even talking about all the others that I got to get out, but that's pretty amazing.
Well, I just want to let you know, Paul, he may be hitting 9th with the new DH.
Talking about last year, but I get it.
That gives you 2 leadoff guys back to back. But, you know, I'm excited about this infield because it's just going to get better. And, you know, when you add Olson to this lineup, great defensive player. He gets a chance to work with Ron Washington and continue to get better defensively. 39 home runs last year, and Oakland, come on, he's going to hit about 40 here in Truist, definitely. I hope Swanson hits 3 more home runs and all these guys hit over 30 home runs. I mean, that's how good this infield is. And like you said, they keep the engine going.
Well, the secret for the Braves is really not that secretive, is it? Pitching and defense. That's really been the calling card for the Braves since the early 90s, and that was the case for the Atlanta team last year. We've talked all about the offensive numbers for the Braves infield. Need to talk about the great work Ron Washington has turned in with these guys defensively. I think Matt Olson's going to love being reunited with Ron Washington as well, as he and the rest of his Braves infield core is motivated to repeat in 2022.
Baseball is about repetition. Repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again till it becomes as simple as being able to point my finger. That's the game of baseball. The more consistent you can be in baseball, the more opportunity you give yourself a chance to be successful.
Right at you.
He engraves in your mind, like if you come out there and work with him every day, you know, his stuff, it's going to show on the field. And I think that's what's giving me the confidence at third base. It's like all I knew is I just got to go work with him, and then when I get on the field, I can just go play, and it's going to show. You're not just going to be given anything. You got to earn it. And you come into spring and you're earning a job. And I think that's just kind of what has wired me to be the way I am. I get here early. I get my stuff in. I have my routine. You know, there's always somebody coming for your spot. It's just you got to go out there and earn it and keep it.
Thanks, Paul. Beautiful, baby. Way to do it. You'll get your throw into the bases when we do our round.
We got guys that have the heart of a champion, and they know what it takes to get ready.
You'll get enough of that when we do our
because they bring it. They bring it every day. And that's how we ended up being the 2021 champions.
Hard hit. This one is a rocket into left and gone. The play at the plate and safe.
There was never a time during the course of the year that we thought that we weren't the best team in the East.
There it goes.
Never one time inside that clubhouse that we thought we were out.
We were the big dogs. We had the target on our back, and we were the last men standing. We were the best last year. Going into the last inning, having Will Smith out there, you know, you get those first 2 outs, and then the ground ball to Dansby.
The Braves are world champions.
To be a part of that, for me, it is incredible.
We want to win every year. We want to stay hungry. We want to stay greedy. We don't know what's going to happen in 22, but I can say that we will be ready to play baseball in 2022 when the season opens on April 7th. That's one thing we do in Atlanta. We get after it.
Ron Washington is a national baseball treasure. We are so lucky to have him, and his hard work is another reason why the Braves own the Commissioner's Trophy as World Series champions in 2022. He's right. The Braves do bring it every day, Paul Bird and Brian Jordan. And for them to repeat in 2022, Birdie, I'll start with you. What's your first key for the Braves to win the World Series this coming season?
Stay healthy. I mean, they've got the team to do it. And by the way, that speech from Ron Washington, I'm ready to take the mound right now and pump fastballs on that outside corner. Let's go. Fans, this team is not only very, very good, but they're a blast to watch. The energy in the battery, in the stadium, that belongs to you. You create that. I cannot wait to be a part of that. And as Ron Washington said, BJ, I'm ready to get after it.
You know, he said it. Stay hungry. You know you have that X on your back coming into this season. Everybody wants a piece of the Braves. And as long as you understand we're at the top of the mountain and we're going to stay there through hard work, you can repeat, and that's what I think the Braves are going to do.
And for the players, spring training is over. They're on their way back to Atlanta tonight. Day off tomorrow, workout perhaps, and then they get after it on Thursday. It's a new season. 2021 is in the books. Is that hard to put behind you?
Baseball is always a game of what have you done for me lately. So you want to enjoy the moment. You want to know that you're good. You want to enjoy the target that's on your back. But you have to go back to taking it one day at a time, getting your work in every single day. And as you said, stay hungry.
Stay hungry. That's all I'm going to say. And
you're
you know
always hungry, BJ.
Exactly. But, I mean, Ron Washington pretty much summed it up, man, because you have to go out there, like you said, every day, do something different. Get there early and continue to get stronger as the season goes on. You went through heck last year, and you came out on top. So let's not go through heck this year. Stay healthy, play hard, and win another championship.
Well, you know those players and coaches are going to bring it every day. We're going to bring it every day for you here on Bally Sports. 154 regular season games. All the fun starts this weekend as Champions Week is underway. Here's the calendar of events. Again, standing room only tickets are going on sale and are on sale for this weekend's games against the Reds. The World Series ring ceremony is Saturday. World Series documentary Sunday. We've got replica ring night. That's going to be crazy. We're going to have 40,000 people here every night, so join us on Bally Sports. Join us here at the Battery and join us at the ballpark as we're ready to kick off another great year of Atlanta Braves coverage for you here on Bally Sports. Guys, great to get the season underway. BJ, Birdie, love you guys. And for our fantastic crew, Kevin Allison and company, thank you for joining us on the Braves season preview show. What a great way to start Champions Week. For more coverage, join us at Braves on Bally and on the Bally Sports app. For our entire crew, I'm Chip Carey. Thank you for joining us. See you this weekend. A new season is at hand. The Reds will be in town, and we'll get things started here in Atlanta as the Braves look to go back-to-back for the first time in over 2 decades.